Hi, everybody. I'm back again. In this module, I'm going to focus on personal branding. This is a personal branding workshop. Now, why is branding important for you as an author, and what does personal branding mean? If I said to you the word Apple, Coca-Cola, or Nike, if you had your eyes closed, you can visualize exactly what those brands are. The Apple brand has a symbol, which is an apple. The Nike brand also has a symbol, which is a tick sign. And you will find that with Coca-Cola, their branding strategy is based on colors: red, white, and black. So as an individual, you are now stepping into the world of marketing. And although you might have written a book about your life, about your skills, about techniques, about fiction, you need to be very clear that you are able to stand out in a world full of self-published authors. If you think of the book Twilight, the branding that was used by that author is so distinct. She has very bold imagery on the book covers, and the colors cannot be missed. They are again black, red, and white. So what is going to make you stand out in a world full of authors? I'll explain the best way to do this based on what I did for myself. A lot of you know that I am based here in beautiful Wellington, New Zealand, but I'm actually from Zimbabwe. And when I started thinking about myself as an author, I looked around to see who the best personal brands were out there. I looked to see signs of how these brands succeeded. And they say that success leaves clues. So don't try and reinvent the wheel when you delve into this world as an author. Look at what's been done before, see how it was done successfully, and model your branding strategy off the success of others. So I decided to model my brand on Oprah. Everybody in the world knows who Oprah is. You just have to say her name and you can see her in your mind's eye. How can you do the same about your brand? Because I'm African and I'm living in Australasia, I knew that there aren't a lot of published authors of African descent in this part of the world. And so I decided that I was going to be the brand. I show up wherever I go as an author, dressed in my traditional African clothes. I wear very vibrant colors. And I did this deliberately because I didn't want people to mistake me for being African American or Caribbean or a person of African descent from some other part of the world. I always show up as being African first. So for me, it was a personal choice. And my clothes give me away in that sense. So I'm going to take you through a process where we will go through step by step what you need to consider to develop a very clear and effective personal brand. So number one, colors. The best way to choose colors that you can use for your branding is to go onto a website called Pinterest or just type in Google color palettes. It will bring up images in the Google search or on Pinterest of 6 complementary colors that go really well together. Choose a combination of 6 colors that you like and save them in a folder called Personal Branding. We will work with these colors when we start developing your book cover. And the reason why I would like you to click and save that image is because when we put together your branding style guide, if you say to me, Gertrude, I like red, yellow, and green, I don't know the exact shade of red, yellow, and green you like. Is it dark red? Is it light red? Is it a bright yellow? Or is it dull yellow? So this just helps us be more specific. It helps you get more clear what those colors will look like together. So that's number one. Pick your colors and make sure that the colors represent who you are. I'm a very artistic, bright, vibrant person. And so I have chosen very artistic, bright colors. They reflect who I am, and they reflect who I am as a brand, being an author. If you're conservative, you might want to stick to more conservative colors, but the decision is up to you. The next thing I want you to think about is the symbol that you're going to use for your branding. The symbol that we came up with, because I was using my face and my image for my branding, was an image of my face turned into a stamp, just in black and white. I now use this to brand my clothing products, my books, and it's very effective because people can actually see my facial features and remember that it's me. I recently worked with an author who was inspired by butterflies. We created a beautiful logo for her with a butterfly symbol that was very abstract, but you could see distinctly what that was. So if you are going to choose a symbol that illustrates what your brand is, again, be very clear. Right? If you close your eyes right now and I say to you, Nike, you can see the tick sign in your mind's eye. You can actually see the Nike brand. Same thing with Apple. How can you do that for you? So that's picking your symbols. The next thing you want to do is to pick the right fonts that represent your brand. Again, if you're a creative person, you're more likely going to choose very creative fonts. If you're conservative, it will be a conservative font. So pick at least 3 fonts that can be used to write your name, to write your book title, that represent who you are. It's amazing how something as simple as a font can say so much about you as a person. This combination of elements is going to help us put together a very strong brand that makes you stand out. The other thing I encourage my authors to do is to understand who they really are and how they motivate and inspire other people around them. I ask you and encourage you today to think of 3 words that best describe you or that best describe your brand. When I hit upon my 3 words, I actually got them from testimonials that I got from some of my clients. I had a client who wrote a beautiful testimonial, and she said something like, Gertrude is a vibrant bundle of African energy. I was really stuck for words to describe who I was. And I liked that testimonial because I pulled out the 3 words, African, vibrant, and energy. So I said in the beginning, I show up as being African first. So that is a very strong word that identifies with my brand. I use very vibrant colors when I go out as a public speaker, or if I'm doing a book signing or being presented as an author. And the energy part of my brand is reflected in my font choices. All of that adds in creating a persona of who you are as an individual. The next thing I'll encourage you to try and look for are patterns that could go with your branding. The easiest thing to do is to go onto websites that sell graphics like Shutterstock and type in the search engine African patterns, for example. That's how I found my patterns. And pick 2 or 3 patterns that can be used for your branding. It's great to have one pattern that has color and one that has monotone. That means 2 colors. And what we will do when we put together your branding style guide is we use that combination of colors and patterns and create banners for your Facebook cover, your Instagram, your Twitter account, your YouTube account. All of your social media platforms will be slightly different but the same. The same patterns, the same colors, so that you can create what is called brand consistency. So when you show up on Instagram, you show up on Twitter, you show up on Facebook, people can see that you are the same person. They can identify your brand. So brand identity is absolutely crucial in everything you're going to be doing going forwards. Remember, you have to find a way to stand out. And that's why people focus and spend a lot of time and energy on branding. The other decision you have to start thinking about, which I'll talk about in the next module, is how you're going to show up. What's going to be on the covers of your books? So join me in the next module, and we'll delve into more detail on how you can create a successful brand using this combination of elements that makes you stand out in a world full of authors. Look forward to reconnecting with you again in the next video.